It's a very small chance. We've seen 6 cases in almost 7 million vaccines that have been delivered with J&J in a specific population. It's been in women aged 18 to 48 where we've seen these cases. So what we need to do now is, as the CDC and the FDA, is go back and look, is there a common factor along with the vaccine that may have led to these events around it, so we can better determine, if this vaccine, should be restricted in certain populations. But all in all, those that have received it so far, a very minute chance that you'll have an adverse event.
You talk about the 6 cases, but as they look further into this and investigate and possibly make connections from the past couple months when J&J has been distributed, will we see more cases of this?
And that's a wonderful question, Javi. We'll know that later this morning as the ACIP committee meets here on the East Coast. And if they present additional data in that committee as they make recommendations where we're going to go further with the Johnson & Johnson vaccine.
Dr. Anthony Fauci said the pause will likely only last days, not months. So how thorough will this investigation be into the blood clots if it's only a few days?
What has been wonderful through this whole process of COVID-19 vaccination is the amount of data that we've been collecting as a country. We're reporting vaccine and we're reporting vaccine events every day as vaccinators as we administer the vaccine. So this data goes into these central repositories. So that's how they were able to detect this so quickly. So likely we aren't going to see a lot of additional information come forward from this investigation because they've been doing this in real time all along as the vaccine's been administered.
So we have issues with blood clots with the J&J vaccine. You look across the pond, they have issues with blood clots with the AstraZeneca vaccine as well. Now, a lot of people would look to the old argument that they rushed out these vaccines too quickly. There wasn't enough research done. What would you say to them?
I would say that, the vaccines, both the AstraZeneca vaccine and the Johnson & Johnson vaccine, are vaccines that were developed in the way that we do traditional vaccinations. These are technologies that are tried and true in vaccine around it. I think what we're seeing here is we are learning more about COVID-19 disease. We're learning more and more about how the body reacts to these and likely are going to see some adverse events, but not an astronomical number. The risk of COVID-19 and the risk of death from COVID-19 is still higher than any of these adverse events that you may get, by receiving the vaccine.
So, doctor, this is obviously going to freak out some people who may have been on the fence of receiving any of the vaccines here. What's your messaging to them?
Again, my messaging to folks is we know that COVID-19 is still, prevalent within our country, within Maricopa County and the state of Arizona. We know that this is an effective tool to, reduce the chance that you will get COVID-19. And the effects of COVID-19 have led to death. We've seen over 560,000 deaths in the United States from COVID-19. Vaccine will help us decrease the deaths, decrease the risk of severe hospitalizations. And I would recommend folks still be vaccinated as we go forward.
Thank you very much for taking the time and easing a lot of those nerves out there as they continue to look at these headlines. Thank you, Doctor.